Hello, hi, my name is Julia Arroyo, and I'm the co executive director of the Young Women's Freedom Center. I want to talk a little bit about the history of Young Women's Freedom Center and Young Mothers United, the grant that we are trying to push forward to you. The organization started in 1993. The original name was the Street Survival Project, and the idea was at the time it was the height of the AIDS epidemic. This is pre-internet. The AIDS epidemic had happened, and in the 90s we started to see young people that were living and surviving and taking care of themselves in the streets of San Francisco. And so, with that story being said, originally folks were hired and trained to do street based outreach and community health work. And as we deepened our political analysis, we discovered that some of us were still being detained and incarcerated at the time. And so that's how we would gather together. And so when we developed Young Mothers United as a component of our strategies for freedom and liberation of women and trans youth of all genders, we would basically sit in circle, right? And over time, we started noticing that we had similar experiences inside of the space, and where the personal became very political. And so one of the first bills that we worked on was the adoption, to extend the age of adoption for incarcerated mothers when they were incarcerated giving birth. And that was one of our strategies. We also created a Bill of Rights for mothers to be able to have more humane practices while incarcerated, and the right to see, touch our children, the right to determine what different outcomes could be for our children. So all of these things, there's always an essence of a campaign that emerges out of our Young Mothers United. And there's also gathering of joy, sharing skills, sharing different knowledge and cultural values inside of the space as well. And one day we were all sitting in a circle, and somebody had disclosed that they gave birth inside of jail and what their birthing experience was. And so she stated that she had been shackled at the time of birth. And and then other mothers had said it as well. And so this is when we partnered with Legal Services for Prisoners with Children, and we were able to create a statewide bill that prohibited women from being shackled at the time of birth. Further down inside of our journey, some more recent things that we were able to do is we were able to do participatory action research as a component of our Young Mothers United program. We were able to survey over 100 parents, young parents, and ask them what their needs were. And we were able to present this to the Board of Supervisors to be able to advocate for more services for parents. My experience coming through the program, I was considered a runaway. I was dual system impacted in the jail and in the juvenile justice system at a really young age. And I was also navigating the underground street economy at the time. So I was engaged in sex work, I was being exploited, I had those kind of experiences. And when I was pregnant, I was very optimistic about what was next for me. And so the center was the first place that I felt seen, I felt heard, I felt loved inside of the space, and that they celebrated milestones that nobody else celebrated. And I was able to start a journey of going to school. And so if you fund this program, it's an incredible opportunity for young parents to gather, to get resources, yes, to be able to also identify what are the challenges inside of their community and inform structural change. So, we have created a number of things. You can check us out at youngwomenfree.org. We also are 30 years old. We are newer to Los Angeles, but our idea is never to bring outside people. It's to find the leaders that are right there in Los Angeles County and to invest in them and be able to create a leadership pipeline, such as myself. Just like you can see, I came through the jails, through the streets, all the way into completing programming here and being able to be a safe self-determination coordinator, and then other roles that led up into an executive director. So yeah, check us out, y'all. Thank you for your support.